This foundation costs $13. This one costs $69. And they do the exact same job, smooth, even luminous skin on a face over 50. Put one on each side of your face in the morning, and by the end of a long day, honestly, the $13 side very often looks fresher because it did not sink into a single line. I have tested it. So let me do some quick math with you because it adds up faster than you think. If you have a luxury foundation, a luxury concealer, a luxury powder, a luxury primer, and a setting spray from the counter sitting on your vanity, you are very likely looking at over $200 of base makeup that a $40 drawer of drugstore products would match, and in a few cases genuinely beat on skin like ours. Today, I am going to show you 9 of them, 9 specific drugstore-based products, each one against the exact luxury product it goes head-to-head with, so that by the end, you can rebuild your entire base, the whole canvas of your face, for less than the price of one prestige foundation. Here are the rules, so you know exactly what kind of list this is. Rule 1. Nobody pays me. No brand, cheap or luxury, sponsors this video, and nobody mailed me anything to keep me quiet. If the drugstore one is actually worse, I will tell you plainly that it is worse. And today, that honestly almost never happens with base, which is going to surprise you. Rule 2. Every single one of these is a real, specific head-to-head. A named drugstore product against a named luxury product, with the actual reason the cheap one holds up on mature skin. And Rule 3. There are 2 places on this list where the expensive one is genuinely worth the money, and I will tell you exactly where at the end. So you know I am giving you the whole truth and not just cheering for cheap. But first, 90 seconds on why this works, because once you understand it, you will never overpay at a foundation counter again. When you buy base makeup, you are paying for 2 completely separate things: the product and the theater. The theater is the heavy glass bottle, the weighted cap, the lit counter, the woman in black with a brush, the magazine campaign. And here is the part the counter will never say. Foundation is not a mysterious secret formula. It is a blend of tinted pigment and a base that carries it and makes it feel a certain way on the skin. And the companies making the $13 one and the $69 one very often buy their ingredients from the very same suppliers. And in a lot of cases, mix them in the very same contract factories, the specialist labs that quietly manufacture makeup for dozens of brands at once. The actual skill, the finish, whether it looks natural or cakey, dewy or flat, and the range of shades is real work, and it is exactly the work the best drugstore brands have now matched. And here is the part the counter would faint before telling you. The same handful of giant companies own both shelves. L'Oreal, the company behind the $13 drugstore foundation you are about to see at number 1, also owns the luxury counters Lancôme and Yves Saint Laurent Beauty outright. And it makes Giorgio Armani's entire beauty line itself, under a license it has held since the 1980s. So an enormous amount of the time, when you trade up from the drugstore bottle to the prestige one, you are handing more money to the very same corporation for a heavier bottle and a fancier name. So when you spend more, you are very rarely buying better skin. You are buying a heavier bottle and a nicer story around the same idea, very often from the same parent company. Let me prove it to you 9 times, and I am going to build it from the last thing you do to the first, so it makes sense as a routine. Let us count them down. Number 9, and we start with the very last step, The one that decides whether your whole base survives the day, setting spray. The luxury one everyone names is Urban Decay's All Nighter, and it sells for around $36. The e.l.f. setting spray sells for around $6. Here is why this one matters more after 50 than it used to. Mature skin is often drier and more textured, and a base can start to separate, fade, or go patchy across the day, especially around the nose and the smile lines. A good setting spray locks the whole thing down and keeps it looking fresh for hours. And in test after test, the $6 spray holds a face just as long as the $36 one. It is a fine mist of the same kind of film forming ingredients in a plainer bottle. Who is it for? Any woman over 50 whose makeup looks great at 9 and tired by 1. This is the cheapest insurance policy on your whole face. And the next one is the very first step, the one that decides whether your foundation grips or slides, and the luxury version has convinced women it is worth almost $40. Number 8 is primer, the step you do before anything else. The cult luxury primer of the moment is Milk's Hydro Grip, a sticky, hydrating gel primer that sells for around $36. The e.l.f. Power Grip Primer sells for around $10, and it is one of the most shameless, near-identical dupes in the entire industry. Same clear gel, same slightly tacky grip that makes your foundation cling all day, same hydrating feel. For mature skin, a hydrating grip primer is genuinely useful because it gives the foundation something to hold on to so it does not travel or settle, and it adds a layer of moisture so the base sits smoother over dry patches and fine lines. $10 versus $36 for a gel that does the identical job. Who is it for? Any woman over 50 whose foundation slides or separates by afternoon, or whose skin runs dry. Buy the $10 one and never think about it again. And the next one is the step most women over 50 are actually doing wrong, and the luxury powder they are overpaying for is one of the most famous products in the world. Number 7 is setting powder, and there is a real technique note wrapped inside this one. The legendary luxury powder is Laura Mercier's translucent setting powder, a cult product that has sat on makeup artists' tables for decades and sells for around $43. The Coty Airspun powder sells for around $7, and it has been the known dupe for generations, so much so that you can buy 3 or 4 tubs of Airspun for the price of 1 Laura Mercier. Same job, a fine, translucent powder that sets your base and stops shine. Now here is the over 50 note that matters more than the price. Powder is the one base product you want to use less of as you age, because too much of it, everywhere, settles into lines and creases and can make skin look dry and older. So the smart move is a light dusting only where you get shiny or where makeup slips. The T-zone, the sides of the nose, and the $7 Airspun does that beautifully. You do not need the $43 version, and you definitely do not need a lot of it. Who is it for? Anyone with a shiny T-zone or makeup that slides used sparingly. Save the money and use a lighter hand. And the next one is the product that lifts and brightens a tired under eye, where luxury has built a cult around a $30 tube. Number 6 is under eye concealer, and this is the one women over 50 ask me about the most, because the under eye is where age and tiredness show first. The famous drugstore hero here is Maybelline's Instant Age Rewind with that little cushiony sponge tip, and it sells for around $9. It goes toe-to-toe with luxury brightening concealers costing $30 and up. It brightens, it depuffs, and crucially, it stays creamy and does not go dry and cakey in the delicate under eye, which is exactly what ages that area. The single biggest mistake under the eye after 50 is a thick, dry, heavy concealer that cracks into every fine line. And the $9 Age Rewind is actually better at avoiding that than many heavier luxury formulas. Who is it for? Every woman over 50 who wants a brighter, more awake under eye without the concealer settling into lines. This is the one I would put in a starter kit for anyone. And the next one is its opposite, the heavy hitter for covering everything, and the luxury version is a beauty influencer obsession. Number 5 is full coverage concealer for the days you want to cover a blemish, redness, or a dark spot completely. The influencer favorite is Tarte's Shape Tape, a very full coverage concealer that sells for around $30. The drugstore champion is L'Oreal's Infallible Full Wear at around $16. And here is the thing that genuinely matters on mature skin. Most cheap full coverage concealers cover well, but then settle into fine lines within an hour, which is the whole problem. The L'Oreal Infallible does not. It gives you real, full, waterproof coverage and dries to a satin finish that sits on top of the skin without cracking into lines, which is exactly what you want after 50. It is one of the rare cases where the drugstore product solved the aging skin problem better than most of the market. Who is it for? Anyone who wants to fully cover spots, redness, or pigmentation without it aging the skin around it. And the next one is for the woman who has decided full foundation is too much and wants her skin to look like skin. Number 4 is Tinted Moisturizer, or Skin Tint, the light, sheer base so many women over 50 move toward, and rightly so. As skin matures, heavy, full coverage foundation can look flat and mask-like and settle into texture, while a sheer, hydrating tint lets your real skin show through and simply evens it out, which reads as younger and more natural. Luxury tinted moisturizers and skin tints from brands like Laura Mercier and others sell for $45 and up. The drugstore versions from brands like e.l.f. and Bourjois and L'Oreal sell for around $10 to $14, and they deliver the same sheer, dewy, hydrating wash of color. You are getting light coverage and a healthy glow, which is often the single most flattering base for mature skin, for a quarter of the price. Who is it for? Any woman over 50 who finds full foundation too heavy and wants fresh, natural, hydrated-looking skin. And let me add the honest truth most counters will never tell you, because it costs them a sale. For a great many women past 50, this lighter, sheer, glowing base is not a compromise at all. It is genuinely the more flattering choice than heavy, full coverage, because piling on thick foundation to hide every imperfection almost always draws more attention to lines and texture, not less. Letting your real skin show through, just evened and lit, is what reads as youthful and expensive. So the $10 tint is not the budget option you settle for. On mature skin, it is very often the better looking option, full stop. And the next one is the true workhorse, the full coverage foundation that has to last all day, and its luxury twin is one of the most sold prestige foundations on earth. Number 3 is Longwear Full Coverage Foundation for when you need your base to genuinely last, a long event, a hot day, a wedding. The prestige icon is Estée Lauder's Double Wear, famous for lasting through anything, and it sells for around $48. The drugstore twin is Revlon's ColorStay at around $13, and it has been the known double wear alternative for years. A long-wearing, full coverage, matte-leaning foundation that genuinely goes the distance. Now, I will be honest because that is the whole point of this channel. If your skin is quite dry, both of these can lean a little flat and matte, so this is a base for a specific job, a long day where staying power matters most rather than an everyday glow. But for that job, the $13 one lasts just as long as the $48 one. Who is it for? Anyone who needs bulletproof, all-day coverage for a big occasion. Buy the Revlon. Spend the difference on lunch after the event. And the next one is the product that has quietly taken over the whole beauty world, the glow in a bottle, and the luxury one is a $50 cult obsession. Number 2 is the Glow Filter, the radiance-boosting base that has become the most talked about product in makeup. The one that gives skin that soft, lit from within, slightly blurred glow. The luxury obsession is Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood Flawless Filter at around $49. The e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter sells for around $14, and it is the closest formula match on the market, giving that same luminous, soft focus glow. This is genuinely one of the best things that can happen to mature skin, because as we age, skin loses that natural luminosity and can look a little flat and dull, and a glow base brings the light right back. You can wear it alone for your skin but glowing look, mix it into your foundation, or dab it on the high points of the face. One honest note, the e.l.f. is the closest match on fair to medium skin, and for deeper skin tones, the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion has broader tested shade coverage, so pick the one built for your tone. Who is it for? Any woman over 50 whose skin looks a little flat or dull and wants light and life back in it. $14 for a $50 glow. And now, number 1, the foundation that started this entire video, the cult luxury base that beauty insiders worship, matched by a bottle you can grab next to the shampoo. Number 1 is L'Oreal's True Match Lumi, and it costs about $13. The product it goes head-to-head with is Giorgio Armani's Luminous Silk, one of the most coveted, most worshipped luxury foundations in the entire world, the one makeup artists call liquid skin, and it sells for around $69. True Match Lumi is, by the accounts of countless beauty editors who have worn both, a genuinely close copy, the same silky, lightweight, luminous finish that makes skin look lit from within rather than covered up. And here is the part that should stop you cold because it matters so much after 50. Reviewers who switched from the $69 Armani to the $13 L'Oreal reported that the drugstore one actually left their skin more hydrated and looked just as flawless. Think about that. The single most coveted luxury foundation, the gold standard of glowing bases, matched and on dry, mature skin arguably beaten by a $13 bottle. That is not a compromise. That is the entire luxury foundation myth collapsing in your hand, because a luminous, hydrating, natural finish is exactly what flatters a face over 50. And you do not need to spend $69 to get it. You need $13. And here is the detail that turns this from a coincidence into the whole point of the video. L'Oreal, which makes the $13 True Match Lumi, also makes the $69 Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk itself under a beauty license it has held since the 1980s. The very same company makes both bottles, so when you buy the Armani, you are very often paying the same corporation 5 times the price for the same kind of luminous formula in heavier, prettier glass. Buy the $13 one, wear it, and glow. And keep the $56. Now, here is how you spot the next base dupe yourself without me, and it takes about 11 seconds. Do not compare the fronts of the bottles because the front is the theater. Do two things. First, wear it. Do not judge from a swatch on the back of your hand because base makeup only tells the truth on your actual face after a few hours. So put the cheap one on half your face and the expensive one on the other half and check in the mirror at the end of a real day. Which side settled into lines? Which side stayed fresh? Which side looks more like skin? 9 times out of 10, you genuinely cannot tell, and sometimes the cheap side wins. And second, match the finish, not the name. Decide what your mature skin actually wants, which is almost always luminous and hydrating rather than flat and matte, and choose the drugstore product built for that finish. Do that one honest half-face test this week, your most expensive base against its drugstore rival, and it will quietly end the counter's hold on you forever. And if you want the rest of this series, the skincare that beats the $90 creams, the eye makeup dupes, subscribe, because I do this every single week. No sponsor, no PR box, just me and the back of a bottle. Now, I promised you the 2 places the expensive option is genuinely worth it. Because a list that says everything expensive is a scam is just as dishonest as the counter it is complaining about. The first is shade range and the exact match. Historically, luxury brands invested real money in wide, nuanced shade ranges with carefully balanced undertones. And if your exact skin tone and undertone are genuinely only matched at the counter, then that perfect match is worth paying for, because the wrong shade ruins any foundation at any price. The second is a genuinely skincare grade formula for very dry, very reactive, or very sensitive mature skin. A few luxury foundations really are built around serious hydrating and skin-caring ingredients at meaningful levels. And if your skin is difficult and one of those genuinely keeps it comfortable all day, that is a real reason. But notice what both of those are. They are about your specific skin getting a specific match or a specific formula, not about the name being magic. Pay for the match. Pay for the formula your skin actually needs. Never pay for the bottle. So strip away all 9 products, and here is what you actually keep. The villain was never L'Oreal or Revlon or Giorgio Armani or the woman who loves her Charlotte Tilbury. The villain is the reflex, the quiet little voice that says, the $69 foundation must be better than the $13 one. Because that reflex is the only thing holding up a $56 gap on a bottle of the same idea. The pigment does not know what it cost. The bottle does not make your skin look more expensive. Wear it, watch which side of your face survives the day, match the finish to your skin and not the price to your ego, and you will build a fresher, more luminous, more natural base over 50 for a fraction of what the counter wanted, and never feel talked down to in that aisle again. So tell me down in the comments, which luxury foundation or base product did you swear was worth it? And which one are you finally going to go replace with the drugstore version? Be honest. I read every single one. And in the next video, I am moving from your makeup bag to your bathroom shelf, the drugstore skincare that quietly beats the $90 and the $180 luxury creams and serums, the ones every woman over 50 should own. Subscribe so you do not miss it.